everybody, and welcome to episode 116 of the Let's Play world. I'm over here at my bee farm grabbing some honeycomb because I wanted to wax some of the copper over at our casino build. And while I was over here, I realized something. What I noticed was that some of our farms are breaking. The first farm I noticed was the sheep farm. I was grabbing some wool to use in our stadium build. And for those of you who remember when I built this, basically up top is where all the sheep are, and there is a redstone system that is shearing them, minecart collects it, and down here is where we collect it all. If we peek over here, what's going on is we have made so much wool that the system is really backed up. Yeah, look at all this redstone is just frozen on. So that means none of the sorters are working. Well, that one's working, but most of them are broken because they're overflowing and there's just too much wool. Second farm I noticed that was having trouble was the chicken farm, and it was a redstone problem also. So in here, there is a bunch of cedar chickens that are just laying eggs. And every time one of them lays an egg, this dispenser is supposed to shoot it off so that the baby chickens end up here. And then this redstone is supposed to send a pulse to help move this clock along. But when I came down here, all of this redstone was just on. So nothing was getting dispensed. The eggs were just backing up. And lastly, our sugarcane farm had a couple of problems. One of them was the minecart that picks up all of the sugarcane wasn't moving, and also this is basically powered by flying machines, and one of the flying machines was stuck. The chicken farm and the sugarcane farm were easy enough to fix, and I realized that when we build new farms, I definitely need to create some sort of maintenance entrance so that I can get in there without just tearing it apart. As far as the sheep farm, I think what I might actually do eventually is just tear all this redstone out of there, and then when we go build a new base, build a new sheep farm over there. But we'll do all of that on a different episode. Today, I want to start off over at the stadium. I've done a little bit of work over there that I want to share with you, and I also want to get into the nether today. So I had asked you all what I should use for the playing field in the stadium, and overwhelmingly, you all thought that I should use moss. So here you can see the playing field made out of moss. I did the kind of chalk lines in white wool. I had heard a suggestion to use white concrete, but I kind of like how there's a little bit of texture in the wool. So I went with that. And then over here, you can see I've started to lay out what the seating is going to look like in the stadium. There's going to be basically 2 levels. And we'll probably do like a tunnel on either side here so that people can get in and out. I was looking at some different videos for types of seating in stadiums, and there's a couple of different ways we could do this. One of them is just wool blocks. And this, once you get a bunch of it out here, looks really good, I think. And the nice thing about wool is we can use any color we want. The other option is we could use stairs. And here you can see I've got quartz stairs. It creates a little bit more of a aisleway, and it looks a little bit more like a seat. But we're a lot more limited as far as the colors we can use for the seats, although the white doesn't look bad. But I'm curious what you think we should do. Should we do wool blocks for the seats, or should we do stairs for the seats? So leave me a comment and let me know whether you prefer the wool or the stairs. And next week, I'll put all of the seats in. But today, I want to see how much of the structure we can get finished. I think this is looking really cool. I very, very much like it. It's not the biggest stadium in the world, and it's pretty compact. You know, like there's a lot of overhang between the upper and lower levels. I've seen some stadiums that are really spread out, and there's barely any overhang. But I think it fits the city and it fits the space. We're going to do this side, we'll do the back side, and we'll do the left side. On this side, I think I'm only going to do the lower level of seats, and then we'll maybe build like a scoreboard up above. On the exterior, I might want to integrate some concrete, like in a color, just to add some interest. I like this flange that's happening here as far as a design element. I think that looks really cool. Now, just this section used up almost all of my remaining stone. With all of the work I've been doing in the city, I've been running through stone like crazy. So I think the next thing we're going to do is just a real quick mining session. We're going to run down to our mining outpost and do some digging down there. And I think I'm just going to dig for about an hour and see what I come up with. Well, I feel like that was pretty productive. I found a ton of resources. So I found some deep slate blocks like the coal ore and the iron ore and the gold ore. Found some diamonds. I'm not very low down in the world. I'm just above deep slate layer, so I didn't think I was going to find any, but I did. So that stuff's all pretty cool. And then almost a shulker box full of stone. So that's really going to help us out. So last thing I want to do today is I just want to poke around in the nether and see if we can find some glowstone. I'm getting pretty low on glowstone and pretty low on quartz. So if we can find some of that, that would be fantastic. I'm going to drop this stuff off at base and then just see if we can kind of roam around the wild nether. Okay, we're going to drop those off. I'm going to grab fresh shulker box and head back into the nether. I'm going to head back down in this direction and just kind of poke a hole in the side of the tunnel and then venture out. Because this is about as far as we've gone in the nether. Okay, that's enough of that. So I got just over a stack of the glowstone. I found a fair amount of quartz. So slow because I'm wearing my gold boots. There we go. Now I wanted the glowstone because I got a suggestion that I should put some lights in some of the windows in the city. So right now when we look off at the city, it'll load into view here. It's just kind of dark. There are some light spots where I have like light on the roofs and things like that, but it might be cool to light up some of these windows. So what I want to do is a couple of buildings, and I want to use glowstone and I want to use frog lights so we can see which one looks better. So I think I'm going to light up a few windows in this sandstone building here. Maybe a couple windows in the Ion Center here, this big white building, and maybe a couple in the Willis Tower, and then we'll run back to base and see how those look. Okay, this is sort of perfect. It's getting dark and it's raining, so let's fly back to the base. Just land here on the creeper farm. And let's take a look. Okay, so a couple thoughts right away. Some of these buildings where the windows aren't flush up against the facade, it lights up quite a lot besides just the window. Here you can kind of see one there and one there, but again, there's a space between the glass and the core of the building. Here, this one is actually flush right up against the glass, but still it has kind of that spillover, which doesn't look terrible. You know, if we had more light throughout, that, you know, would kind of spread it all over the building and it'd probably look kind of cool. Now, it's hard to tell with the Aeon Center here. With the Willis Tower, I did the one on the left with frog lights and the one on the right glowstone. And then over here you can kind of see the one on the left is glowstone, the one on the right is frog lights. I'll fly. Oh, hello. That's the cool thing about a creeper farm. It's full of cats. And so the phantoms never really can get to you. They'll try. They're afraid of the cats. Well, let's tempt fate here and take a look. So as we fly up, you can see glowstone on the left, frog light on the right. Frog light almost looks like glass, I think. It's a kind of a cool look. I think I really like the frog lights quite a lot, but leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. And I think I'm going to do one more thing because I'm sure there's a lot of you who are like, show me what the stadium looks like on the map. So let's see if I can figure out which one it is here. It's probably going to be two of them, those two. All right, let me fly over and see what we get. There's that one and that one. That is pretty cool looking. It is definitely a different color than the rest of the natural area, which I very much like. Yeah, those grandstands or bleachers are going to look really cool, especially once we get the seats in there. And I think that's where I'm going to wrap this one up. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you had fun. Please like and subscribe if you want to follow along on the adventure, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.